God. Hello, everybody. These legal guys have a great way with words. Anyway, Kieran, Natalie, family and friends. Firstly, I have to join with Joe and Mary just to congratulate Kieran and Natalie. And as Owen said, you look stunning. Since Adeline started coming to our house, which is some years ago now, as Joe said there, she's been nothing but kind, courteous, loving, and a great addition to our family, to be honest. And also a good influence on this man here. So, Adeline, officially, my function today is to say you're more than welcome. You're very, very welcome to our family. I suppose the fact that you were in the nursing profession was a small help. You know, with your new mother-in-law now being in that profession. And your sister-in-law over here as well. And, gee lads, we'll have some discussions at our table. Anyway. You know, I was just thinking there, Kieran is not the only winner here today. Since myself and Marion got to know Joe and Mary here, since we've got to know them, become friends with them, and we had some great times up here in Donegal earlier this year, and they were down in Castlebar, down in the west, and we had equally good times then. So we're looking forward to many years of, you know, togetherness and visiting each other. And Joe, I know it won't be any time until you grace the stage in Matmalloy's again. And like Owen said, you know, I just want to take this opportunity to say to both of you, to thank you for the hospitality we've got again this week. You know, absolutely fantastic. So thanks very much to both of you. You know, after Kieran and Adeline met, well, back in 2004, I think, was it, Adeline? Kieran, I can remember. You know, it was very obvious from an early stage that he was absolutely bowled over by this beautiful lady here, you know. We knew from the start, well, you know, there's something going on here. But then all of a sudden he just upped and off to Boston after about a year. And, well, we said, no, this will really test it, you know. This will test the relationship. And Marion and myself and Aoife went over to Boston to visit. And while we were there, well, we began to realise, or he let us know, like, the extent of his feelings and love for this girl. And as he said himself, yeah, she's the one. So we knew it was only a matter of time when this day would come. And thank God it has come. And a great day it is. Of course, Kieran had a great fondness for America, and it goes back a long way, particularly Chicago. And he was in Chicago first, I think, when he was 4 years old, with myself and Marion. And he was there several times since. Over to his other family, as he calls them, which are the Burks down here, Larry and Teresa over there. And their family, and he spent several times over there. But one summer when he was in college, he went over there to work on the construction business. Now, Larry and Teresa have a construction business over there. He went to work for them. And Marion and myself were wondering, you know, he wasn't really into construction. Isn't that right, Dave? He was never really into the building work or that. He was more an IT man. So we were wondering how he'd get on, you know. And we got the odd phone call from him and the odd letter and some photographs. But the photographs mainly were Kieran, you know, in their pool, their swimming pool in the backyard, lounging out. Or on a deck chair beside the pool with his cousin Christina. or the odd time down in the Roadhouse, that's the local, with Pat, you know. So we were wondering, you know, is there any work going on? And Larry was home a couple of months later, and I said to him one day, you know, how did Kieran get on out there? You know, what was he like? And he said, oh, Kieran, great lad. He says, you know, he's one of the family. We treat him as one of our own. And a good worker, he said as well. And then he paused for a second. He said, does that lad know how to party? All joking aside, I think they deserve great credit for the amount of organisation they put into this day. And Joe and Mary know, and myself and Marion know, what they've done for this day and the amount of work they put into it. And it's obvious from what so far, so good, brilliant actually. And the ceremony in the church today was lovely as well. And I know they put a lot of effort into that. So you both deserve great credit for that. When we were in the church, and I was looking up at the beautiful couple in front of me there, I just couldn't help but think of, you know, Kieran's first wedding. And I think... I think at a shop there now, but it wasn't his wedding. But he was 3 years old, and my sister down there, Katrina, was getting married to Frank there in front of me. I won't tell them how long that was. But he was 3. And, you know, the usual fussing was going on in the morning of the wedding. You know, same went on this morning, I suppose, the hair, and I had hair myself that time. And we were getting ready in Marion's home place, in her parents' house. Now, that suited me fine, because it was a fairly quiet house, and Martin's house on the morning of a wedding, it's a little bit like Jones's Road on the morning of All Ireland final. You know what that is. But anyway, Marion said, we'll get Kieran ready first. You know, get him dressed, and then we can have a bit of time to dress ourselves. So I think Kieran that day had the blue waistcoat and the blue dicky bow, white shirt, starched collar, the whole lot. Oh my God, you looked $1 million. And we were so proud, you know. So he had a bit of time for himself, and we went off to get dressed, and Kieran went to have a look at himself in the mirror. Kieran was fairly fond of the mirror now around. So, well, to put it mildly, he got his scissors. And he cut a miniature carriageway down the centre of his head. Something like a Hare Krishna disciple or something like that. Needless to say, all hell broke loose, and there was tears and what have you. Funny enough, I think I got to blame myself, you know. Anyway, Kieran, you look much better today. And your mother is much happier as well. On a serious note, we are very proud of Kieran and what he has achieved so far in his life, as we are of Owen and Aoife, of course. But today is Kieran's day, and the beautiful wife he has found himself. And just to say that, you know, he was always good. He's good to me as his dad. We're good friends. And he's even better to his mom here. And he's a great man for presents and, you know, giving and receiving presents. And I always think of Christmas at Kieran. When I think of Kieran, I think of Christmas, and Christmas morning in particular. And giving presents. And he's, you know, first down to the tree in the morning and searching for presents, stealing ones that wasn't his, maybe, or things like that. And, you know, but he always had that excitement, and he still has to this day, even up to recently, up to this year. And it's not that he'd be in bed early on Christmas night, that's a whole different story, but you know something about that too. But, yeah, he has that thing about him, and I know, Adeline, he'll always be generous to you. I suppose you could say he was a little spoiled. He was the oldest in our house. What do you think, Aoife? Definitely, wasn't he? Owen reckons he was spoiled rotten, you know. But, no, he had been pretty good, generally. One or two blemishes here and there. in the secondary school years. A certain brother Thomas comes to mind. And see those guys down there at the back? They know what I'm talking about. That's water under the bridge now. He also is a caring type of fella. And he demonstrated that very well years and years ago when he was in his early teens. When his grandfather came to live with us, Marion's father, for a short time. And he had suffered a stroke as a relatively young man. And it took some care. He was quite ill towards the end of his life. But Kieran that time, you know, really showed us his true colours and was really good to the two of us in helping care for his grandfather. And we appreciate that, and I know your mum does in particular, and her sister and Paddy over there. So thanks very much, Kieran, for that. I suppose you could say he's a fairly good-looking guy. Yeah. What do you think, Adeline?
Most agree.
Thank you. Obviously from our side of the house, but I have a sister-in-law down there who claims to be a bit of an expert in this. Now, good-looking men and, you know, sexy, handsome lads. And she even claims to be married to the best-looking of the married. No, the jury's still out on that one. But she recently described our son, Kieran, as sex on legs. That's enough of that now. Mar atá sin áit seo I dún an gáil, ní bé sé ceart ach cúpla focail rá a scoige. Níl mór an éile a scoige le rá agamsa. Ach go bhaith liom 100 míle fáilte rís a chur a raibh Adeline, Joe, Vicky, Jimmy. Go Tommy Marchi. Agus go mé sí fada sláintú ach go fóst. When Kieran and Adeline were organising their wedding and were sending out their invitations, one of my nieces sent me a text to say, you know, she couldn't wait, she was so excited. There she is over there, hiding down. One of my godchildren, Fiona. And she said she couldn't wait for this, you know, because she said you couldn't beat a Martin wedding. You know. But from talking to some of Adeline's wider family, particularly those guys with the kilts, I think we've met our match here. Finally, Marion and myself hope you all have a very enjoyable day and evening and night, and maybe even a bit tomorrow. And whenever you leave, whether it's tonight, tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday, safe journey home.